humbug. This is an anti-Christmas podcast, and that's why it's taken us this long to actually cover a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
I believe this is the canonically categorized as a Christmas movie, the first one we've done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking about that Die Hard shit. Like, say what you will, all opinions aside, this is the first objectively Christmas movie I think we've covered.
Yeah. No, I think you're right about that.
And this is The Swamp, and it's an acronym.
Stage for some whack-ass movie podcasting.
And we decided that it was finally time to come around to do a legit Christmas movie the week of Christmas. I'd like to think that this podcast is neutral on all... We're an agnostic podcast, I would say.
Absolutely.
Which is why in the past we did Christmas movies that aren't really Christmas movie month, which just meant any movie that had snow in it. Because, you can get a warm, cozy, seasonal feeling from Edward Scissorhands.
Of course.
It doesn't need to be a Christmas movie. Mm-hmm. But for Disney December, we were racking our brains for what Disney movies to do, and obviously any excuse to cover a Muppet movie.
Yeah.
Why not?
I'll cover a Christmas movie if it's to avoid doing an actual Disney movie.
Yeah, for sure.
Because, this doesn't technically, I think, count as Disney, but it's on Disney+.
Actually, I'm coming in with some hard facts for you right now.
Okay, enlighten me.
And this is the first piece of Muppet media to be produced by Walt Disney Studios.
Oh, okay.
And even though it came out in 1992, and the Muppets as a brand were not acquired by Disney until 2004, they still went through Disney production to create and distribute this piece of media. So this is technically the first Disney Muppet piece. So I think it counts. It's on Disney Plus, and I think anything before this, the argument would have been a lot weaker, because they own the Muppets now doesn't necessarily mean that it was like a Disney thing. But this was actually produced by Disney. So yeah, this is a valid choice for Disney December.
Okay, sweet.
We're legit and really hard on facts here in this podcast, so I would not have let that shit slide.
Okay, wonderful. No, good to know. Good to know. You know what? Now that you say it, it really shows. Because I think that, not to jump right into it, but I loved the set design on this movie. Something about that old-timey London look. And also Muppets, and also, the most obscure things as Muppets. This movie, kissed my little forehead.
They went so hard on the costumes.
Oh, my God.
The costumes they put on those Muppets were, not only, pretty time period accurate, I feel. Yeah. Or at least as far as, a Muppet movie goes. They really could have skimped. Yeah. And they did not skip on the costuming. The costuming, and I agree, that the set design, how the buildings are all a little crooked, and but still puzzle wedged together. Yeah. So good. That's my favorite thing. We've, time and time again have gone through how much we love the Muppets on this podcast. We've covered the Muppet movie with Jason Segel. That's just called the Muppet movie, right? Yeah. Yeah. We've covered that one, and I think I always am, using an excuse to bring up how much I just think the Muppets are the coolest fucking thing ever. Yeah. But set design and, doing things practically is, I'll never shut the fuck up about it.
Because I just you're valid.
That's the way to do it. And I saw this really, not to, hard pivot, but I actually saw this pretty interesting Twitter thread about Christopher Nolan using practical effects in his movies over CGI, and how it's actually cheaper. So he literally, because he just detonated a bomb for Oppenheimer. Yeah, that's why everyone's talking about it. But he literally detonated a real bomb. But he has also crashed planes for real.
Yeah, an entire airplane hangar.
Yep, he planted 100 acres of corn
for Interstellar.
Just because he didn't want to CG in corn. The rotating room in Inception is actually a hallway that they put on this crazy thing, and it ends up being legit cheaper for him to do things that way, and it just looks better. It just fucking looks better.
It's also just cool.
Yeah, and then when you hear oh yeah, that was a legit thing they did, makes you I don't know, have a more interesting experience with the movie, or rewatching it, because you're damn, they really did crash that plane, huh? Yeah. Whereas it's if you see something like that and you're yeah, they CGI'd that in, you're okay, well, yeah, duh. But yeah, I just think the use of practical stuff, and obviously it's Muppets, they're not they're not crashing planes or detonating bombs or anything, but I think the little touch and knowing in 1992, like, the few things that they do have green screened in here are so distracting.
Yeah.
Like, are so, like, weirdly, like, don't fit and feel right. So it's good to know that they knew their limits, right?
Yeah,
they were
absolutely.
like, no, like, we'll build a little set because, come on. Like.
Yeah. I don't want to go over this movie. I feel like you should know what A Christmas Carol is about, even though I could not remember the premise.
Which is so crazy to me that we started this
I don't think
movie.
I've ever seen this.
Yeah, you said you had never seen it. I definitely had seen it as a kid, and I think in my 7th grade English class, we watched a couple of different iterations of A Christmas Carol, but it's crazy to me that you say you don't remember the plot of A Christmas Carol.
Well, I remember the plot. I think it's the beginning of it that I don't remember. Like, I know it's like past, present, and future. I didn't remember what past brought him to. I remembered present and future, but like before that, I was kind of floundering.
I just feel like from the time the school year started up through Christmas, which is like legit 3 whole months.
Yeah.
We did a unit on A Christmas Carol in English class.
Yeah, that's true.
I just feel like that shit was drilled into my head through both, like, we, like, read A Christmas Carol, but then we also, like, engaged with a ton of different, like, media that, like, used that. So I feel like, not that I've seen, there are 8 billion different, like, movie renditions of it, but I feel like I've seen, like, a good chunk of them. There's the Jim Carrey animated one, and then there's Scrooged with fucking Bill Murray, and then there's a new one coming out, or I think it came out in November of this year. Yeah, they don't stop making Christmas Carol movies.
I don't know, man.
I just think the Muppets did it the best.
Absolutely. This movie had me giggling and kicking my little feet, and also, like, I was ready to cry at some points. Michael Caine put his whole
Michael Cussy.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Couldn't have said it better myself. Like, he really went off on this role, and it's outstanding.
I guess he had a ton of actor friends who got to be on the Muppet Show, like in the 70s and 80s or whatever, and he was in America, so they were filming it in the UK. And so they got a bunch of, like, UK actors and stuff to come be on the Muppet Show, but he was in the US hiding from, like, tax evasion. He was in the U.S. and he didn't get to be, like, they invited him, but he, like, didn't, because he couldn't re-enter the country, or else he was, like, gonna get snatched up for tax evasion or something like that.
Oh my god, that's so
when
funny.
when he found out that they were doing this, he asked for this role. Like, they didn't cast him. He was like, I, like, can please, and, like, I want to be Ebenezer Scrooge. And they were like, yeah, like, that's works out great. And he's like, I'm gonna play it like I'm, like, in Shakespeare theater. Like, I'm not gonna act like a fucking Muppet. I'm gonna take this so fucking seriously.
And it's so good. And thank God he did that.
When he, like, cries during his, like, own funeral scene.
Yep.
Oh my god, that's the performance of a lifetime.
Honestly.
I've never seen Michael Caine act better.
Oscar snub, if you ask me. This is probably my favorite performance that I've ever seen him do.
Yeah, no doubt.
Easily. Also, some of the Muppets' best performances. I can rock with Gonzo, but I really liked him in this. And was it what's the rat's name?
Rizzo.
Rizzo.
Yeah,
I liked Rizzo.
Yeah, they had a really.
It was a good.
I think choosing Gonzo to be the narrator, like, that's not the obvious choice, right? Like, he's not usually the voice of reason or anything, but to have him play
Charles Dickens.
He was a stand-in Charles Dickens, which, not just because it's a Muppet thing do I think it's the best Christmas Carol rendition, but the narrator of A Christmas Carol is, like, Charles Dickens. Like, there is a narrator figure, and a lot of the movies kind of leave that out. It's just sort of like the protagonist is Ebenezer Scrooge, and then we follow him. But this, I like that sort of fourth wall break of, we have our narrator and we have Rizzo as sort of our Greek chorus of, like, gonna provide the humor, the little jokey elements, while Gonzo is like, oh, I'm narrating, this is what's happening. But then they have when he gives him a little kiss on the nose, when he's like,
it was so cute.
My jelly beans, you know,
out of nowhere. That. Yeah, it was outstanding. I just couldn't have thought of a better way to do this movie. I think it's nearly a perfect movie, if not the perfect movie.
Which it only has, like, 3.9 stars on Letterboxd. I was
Fucked
like,
up.
What the fuck? I'm sorry. Name a criticism. Although, I am gonna ask you how you felt about the the ghosts of past, present, and yet to come.
I have a lot to say.
They didn't use traditional Muppet characters. No. They made new Muppets for these 3 roles. So,
well, I'm not sure that you can say that the Ghost of Christmas Past was a Muppet. That was an ethereal being.
I think it was like the head was a puppet, and then they CG'd in the like mystical. But I think there was a puppet element to it, but I think they CG'd in all the like dramatic flowy shit.
I don't think so. I think they used Bjork.
Yep. Ghost of Christmas Past, I'm sorry, that's Bjork.
That's Bjork.
And even, I wish he had that little accent that Bjork has. Bjork just be out here saying the most whack shit, and I love it. Yeah. She should have, like, spoken riddles. That would have been so good.
Oh my god. Yeah, she was wild. I kind of liked her vibe. I kind of didn't. It was a little strange, but I think it was supposed to be. I did not like Ghost of... Present. Present. I didn't like him.
Because that was not a Muppet, that was a man in a suit. Like, that was like a mascot costume, which is a little...
And, like, I know he's kind of supposed to be, like, a bumbling idiot and all that shit, but, like... Yeah. I don't know, it just didn't do it for me. I liked the Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come.
Spooky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just pointed his long-ass fingers.
No. So those are fairly accurate to the book.
Yes.
For, like, what they are in the book, which I... could see why they maybe wanted to have them be, like, just to keep the continuity of, like, the Christmas Carol storyline, but do you think if you had to replace them with 3 Muppets,
oh, fuck,
which Muppets would you want? Because we got a lot of background characters as Muppets.
Yeah.
So I would say that, like, Kermit and Miss Piggy are off the table, because they're, like, obviously gonna play Bob Cratchit and his wife. Like, that just makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know, like Fozzie Bear, he was just kind of a side character. Like, we could have swapped him out, I think.
Fozzie I could see as the Ghost of Christmas Present.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because he's just a good time boy.
Yeah.
And I think Animal could be Yet to Come.
Yes.
Ominous and spooky. Little...
Yeah, unhinged. But I'd like to think Beaker could be...
Past.
Yeah. Because he can't really speak.
Yeah. Or maybe he could have been Yet to Come.
Oh, true.
That could have been.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
And Animal could have been. Yeah, because I felt like Animal just, like, showed up and did his little drummy thing.
Yeah,
But I'm, like, underutilized.
Typical.
Or the Swedish chef, I think, could be present.
Yeah.
That
also
that
true.
Too. But yeah, I felt like they could have made them Muppets.
Yeah.
I guess
I like that they didn't, though.
I kind of respect that they didn't. But I agree, I was not really fucking with the puppetry of Present, because it was clearly just, like, a guy in a costume, which I didn't love. But yeah, the past Bjork, ethereal,
wild,
mystical.
She was wild.
Her face was really giving the Dark Crystal, like the somewhat humanoid looking Muppets they use in, like, the Dark Crystal puppetry. Her face was more giving that than, like, the Muppets we think of, like, felt. Yeah. And, like, I don't know, sort of more anthropomorphic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it would be better if they had been real Muppets or not. Who's to say?
I like the use of, like, a lot of the Muppets as the side characters, honestly. It felt a little different, which I could get behind.
Do you think that instead of having Michael Caine be Scrooge, they should have had Kermit be Scrooge? Because I feel like Kermit never really steps into that role. He's never really a serious guy. Like, it would have been an acting challenge.
Honestly,
for him.
Yeah. I could see that. I didn't realize that this was a musical.
Yeah, the musical numbers in this kind of slap.
The Marley and Marley song was wild. That's probably my favorite one. Which it was so funny.
I think it made perfect sense to have the two of them be the Marley character Ghost, because I think in A Christmas Carol, traditionally Marley's just one guy, but they, made him 2 in this, which I think is so funny, which kind of leads you to believe the past, present, and future Muppets are also going to be Muppets. Yeah. Because they, use Waldorf and Statler as Marley and Marley, but their musical number... It was so good.
So good. So funny.
And they were, like, wrapping Michael Caine up in, like, little chains and, like, getting him into it.
Yeah.
I would say that one and then the number at the end are, like, the 2 best.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
And as far as, like, what Muppets fit and didn't fit, I really, really wish that his love interest in the past sequence had been, even if it was, like, a more human, like, a more human-looking Muppet.
If that was
instead of knockoff Chloe Sevigny, if they had, like, what was her name? I don't know.
Belle.
If they had Belle be a Muppet, that would have been perfect.
I would have cried. That would have been so fucking funny. Well, speaking of young Scrooge, hot as fuck.
Young Scrooge, isn't that the same actor who they had be the nephew?
I don't think so.
No, they looked an awful lot alike. The nephew was also kind of hot.
The nephew was also hot. The nephew's wife was hot. Mm-hmm. Belle was hot.
Yep.
Everyone was kind of hot in this movie.
Yeah, this movie, although on the horny scale, very low.
Yeah.
But not a horny movie. No. But, like, I could get into, you know, what little they were serving. Mm-hmm. I ate, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It left me wanting more. Also, do you think the name Ebenezer is, like, a name that people had? Like, ever?
I wonder. Yes.
Like, is that a name that, like, people used to have, like, back in the day?
Imagine your name is Ebenezer, and it's pretty, like, casual, like, you know, John, Peter, Ebenezer. You're just fitting in with everyone else, and then Charles Dickens fucking releases this book and is like the most crotchety ass, negative Nancy bitch is named Ebenezer, and now suddenly you're stuck with the connotation that you hate Christmas.
Yeah.
Bummer.
I don't know.
It had to be. Pretty interesting thing is that nobody really said Merry Christmas. Like, it was a phrase that existed, but it wasn't super popular until this book.
Really?
Yeah, like, it was, you know, people would say Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas, whatever, like, it wasn't a thing, but, like, the colloquial, as we all know, like, that is, like, the term, right? Merry Christmas is, this book really popularized it. I don't know too much about it, but after a quick Wikipedia skim, I did learn that this book was written at a time where a lot of Christmas traditions were being, like kind of cemented and formed, like, the you know, use of the tree and the tradition of giving gifts. Like, those were things that were kind of, like, here and there. But it was when, especially in, like, Western Europe, it was really being like, okay, this is what Christmas is. Like, this is what you do on Christmas.
Yeah.
And so then Charles Dickens sort of used all of those things that were, like, kind of just coming up. And then after this got published, it was super popular and was, like, really, like, this is what Christmas is now.
Yeah.
Literally
this is what it's all about, baby.
Yeah, defined the holiday.
Yeah.
Which I gotta say, this is kind of like an anti-capitalist text.
Absolutely.
It is, because, I mean, a lot of Charles Dickens stuff is very indicative of, like, his life growing up. He was super poor and, like, very, like, pro-working class type stuff. But it's crazy. So, at first, I felt conflicted about them teaching this in schools so much.
Yeah.
Because maybe it was just our school, but, like, any other schools in America, I feel like everyone fucking reads A Christmas Carol, right? Like, that's just, I feel like that's a thing.
Yeah.
But I was
it's like weird. It's like the same thing of, like, when you learn about Helen Keller. Like, I don't know why we do it, but we do it. It happens no matter what, every single school.
Yeah. She was
and
inspiring, but, like,
why? A whole unit? Really? But it's like the same vibe, you know what I mean?
Yeah, weird specific things in American curriculum that just, like, really stuck.
That don't make sense.
And I texted my brother-in-law, who is a 7th grade reading teacher.
Oh my God,
I was like,
perfect.
Do y'all still do A Christmas Carol? And he was like, yes, of course. Like, yes, of course it takes up the first half of the year. And at first, I was a little conflicted because I feel like something related to a religious holiday shouldn't be, like, a thing that's that big of a deal in public schools. Like, it's a Christmas book.
Yeah.
It's a Christmas Carol. You should not be making kids at a public school read something that's, like, related to Christianity. Like, that's separation of church and state. I made a big stink in high school. They had a Christmas tree up in the hall.
Did you?
Oh, yeah. And the department head asked the teachers to put it in the teacher lounge instead of in the hallway. And a ton of students complained. And I was like, fuck all of you, because, like, we don't go to a Catholic school.
Yeah.
Or we don't go to a religious school. This is a fucking public school. There is no need for there to be Christmas or holiday related decorations out ever for any reason. We don't decorate for Halloween or, like, Thanksgiving. Like, just because we have the day off of school doesn't mean that that's something that has to be, like, plastered everywhere. And so, I don't know, I got in a couple of, like, verbal altercations because my teacher was like, how about we, like, all have a productive discussion about what we think of this, and everyone was like, well, I don't see why we can't just put out a menorah too. And I'm like, that is the opposite of the point. Anyways, but I don't really think if I agree whether this should be taught in schools so much, but I do think...
I think it's just because it's good literature also.
Yeah.
That's like the thing.
And if it's like an old-timey 1830s piece of, text that you can kind of... It's pretty palatable for kids, like... who are developing their literature skills. Yeah. I guess that makes sense. But also, I am so down that this is, like, so clearly an anti-landlord, anti-bank, anti-money lending.
Hell yeah.
Because he wrote this specifically to bring out, to, like, shine a light on child poverty, specifically, which is why the whole thing is, like, Tiny Tim was literally gonna die. Like, so think about that. But I think it's not true to assume that, like, if you took Jeff Bezos and put him through the trials and tribulations of Ebenezer Scrooge, that anything would change, because I don't believe that, like, billionaires or, like, capitalist tycoons have that kind of sense of moral center. Yeah. I just don't think that's true. Mm-hmm. Like, you could be like, Jeff Bezos, kids are dying, and he's like, yeah, okay. Cool. Yeah. Like, you think, I mean, I guess now we have more widespread information access, so, like, you're stupid if you think Jeff Bezos doesn't understand that, like, people who work in his factories, like, die. Yeah. Like, don't get bathroom breaks and shit. Like, obviously he knows that. So this whole idea of, like, oh, take an evil, grouchy, capitalist person and just show them the effect their actions have on people, and then they'll be good. Yeah. Like,
well, I think in, like, the 1830s, more people, like, had a soul, maybe. Yeah. So, yeah. But, like, at the same time, I would also be a bit of a capitalist if it meant that I could get a canopy bed. To be fair.
You would...
I want one of them so bad.
You would make Bob Cratchit work on Christmas if it meant that you got a canopy bed. Yes. That's what's so cool. Like a bed with curtains that draw shut around you. Come on. So cozy. I'd never get out of bed.
Literally never.
It's only the sun coming in through my window that, like, forces me to recognize that I'm a person.
Yeah, it's just the morning.
If I had a little curtain all the way around me, darkness forever. Yeah. I love that. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Oh. Waka Waka! Who is it but my lovely mother, Jen? I didn't know what a Muppet-themed introduction for you would be. But it's Jen, my mom, here to do Chocolate or Vanilla, the interim podcast segment where she comes in, says two things we all say, which one we like better. Jen, how are you?
I'm so good. How are you guys?
I'm great. I'm having a little carrot cake right now, really putting me... That's, like, one of my favorite, like, autumnal/wintertime desserts. Mm-hmm. It's, like... Why do they call it carrot cake? They should call it, like, delicious cinnamon cake that happens to have vegetables in it, you know?
The carrot really throws it off. It doesn't, like, entice me to eat it, you know what I mean?
But it's hardly there. Exactly. So it's like zucchini, like, what is it? Zucchini bread?
Yeah.
So good. Tastes nothing of zucchini.
Yeah. You have no raisins, though, right? Carrot cake with no raisins,
fuck
right?
That. Fuck raisins. Yeah. Fuck raisins. No, I do put pecans in mine, though. I don't really fuck with walnuts. But I like pecans. I do a little, like, toasted. They're, like, fine. They're just, like, less good pecans to me. Yes. Chocolate or vanilla, pecans or walnuts. I'm picking pecans, like, every time. But Jen, is there a theme this week?
There is a theme. So it's a little bit... It doesn't really go with the Muppets, or maybe it does, but Disney music.
Disney music. Okay, because it is Disney December. So you are thematically within the bounds of this month. So
chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Vanilla.
Chocolate. Let It Go or How Far I'll Go?
How Far I'll Go from...
Moana.
Is that the name of that song? Yeah, that one, obviously. Fuck Frozen. I'm an anti-Frozen.
I'll give it to Moana. Because, like, I can't dispute, like, how iconic Let It Go is, you know what I mean? So I do have to give it creds. Also, Idina Menzel put her whole pussy into that. But, yeah, I'll go for Moana on this.
Yeah, I'll go for Moana also.
Was that the song that John Travolta was giving her, like, an Oscar for it or something, and he called her Adele Gazib? Wasn't that for Let It Go? I really feel like it was. So. It was like Let It Go by Adele Gazib.
Oh my gosh. Next one is Part of Your World from Little Mermaid or A Whole New World from Aladdin?
Both really great pieces of Alan Menken. Recently, Henry and I were trying to see how many EGOTs we could name from memory as a joke, because I knew I would not get more than like 2 or 3, and I think there are like 16 or something. But I do know Alan Menken, icon Alan Menken, who I most know from doing the Little Mermaid soundtrack, which like slaps arguably like the hardest of most Disney stuff, but he also did like basically a lot of the early iconic like Disney Renaissance quote unquote soundtracks. He did like also like Aladdin and a lot of the really good ones. So two great pieces of Alan Menken work, but I'm gonna have to go with the Little Mermaid on this one.
Yeah, I'll go for the Little Mermaid. I don't know, I wish Aladdin did more for me, but I feel like it's usually the thing that I'm not picking when it comes to a chocolate or vanilla.
All right, I'm gonna pick Aladdin. I like that one. Next one is You've Got a Friend in Me or You're Welcome. So Toy Story or Moana.
So I do enjoy the Moana soundtrack, and will like probably like I probably have statistically like bopped out in my car to that more, but I will say Randy Newman, You've Got a Friend in Me, like makes my heart ache in a very early Disney. I think that Monsters Inc. is like, or no, what is it? Toy Story?
Yeah.
Is that from Toy Story?
Yeah.
Does he also do it? There's also another really good one from Monsters Inc. too. The jazz opening, maybe? I don't know. But I'll give it to You've Got a Friend in Me. That one's good.
Absolutely.
Good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. You've Got a Friend in Me. I think I like some of the Moana soundtrack, but like I really don't like that song, and I know it's like supposed to sound pompous and all that shit, but it just really rubs me the wrong way. I don't.
You are a Lin-Manuel Miranda hater.
I
through and
fucking
through,
hate
though.
that man. I hate him so much.
You will never support a piece of LMM media, so we can just bypass that.
That man irritates the fuck out of me.
I guess I'll go with Toy Story. You've Got a Friend in Me.
No, Jen, speak your truth.
Dissuaded.
I know you're a You're Welcome stan. I know you're
Jen,
a You're Welcome
come on.
stan, Jen.
This is what this entire game is about.
That's true. All right, I'll go with You're Welcome. Next one is Be Our Guest or Welcome to Our Family Time. So, Be Our Guest is Beauty and the Beast, and Welcome to Our Family is Brother Bear.
Oh, yeah. See, I would not have known that unless you told me what it was. Yeah, for sure. I would not have known that unless you told me, and so I think for that reason, I have to go with Be Our Guest. Also, at Disney World, there's this, like, interactive, like, one of the few things at Disney that I feel like I stand by as, like a reason to go is this, like, it's, like, the first 4D cinematic experience ever, basically, where they do Be Our Guest and they spray the smell of pie, but then afterwards there's, like, a Bug's Life thing where they make the termites crawl under your butt in the seat, and that... I experienced that in, like 2006? That shit was fucking out of this world. Like, now, they're like, ooh, see Dune in 4D and we'll put sand on you. Like, no. Disney was doing it first with Be Our Guest pie smell in the air, so I've got to give it to that.
Yeah, no, that song goes hard as fuck. That little French accent that man's singing with the entire time, like, come on. Yeah, I'll definitely Be Our Guest.
All right, I'm going to take the Brother Bear song, which I totally heard in the car and turned up the other day. Next one is Kiss the Girl or A Girl Worth Fighting For.
A Girl Worth Fighting For. Mulan. Yeah, any song from Mulan, any song from the Mulan soundtrack trumps like 99% of all other Disney music canon, because the Mulan soundtrack, like, you could, like, maybe something from Tarzan could, like, maybe wiggle its way, but I fucking love the Mulan soundtrack.
Yeah. That's like Scream in My Car songs, so definitely A Girl Worth Fighting For.
Girl Worth Fighting For me too, for sure. Next one is Go the Distance or Get Your Head in the Game.
Ooh.
Oh, okay, two great pieces of work, but they sang Go the Distance at our high school graduation. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that, like, whenever they sang, like, something for graduation, I was always like, ugh, this is so corny. I think they sang, like, the Friends intro the year before us, but I was so pleased. I was like, okay, you guys have my attention.
Yeah, choir selection hits for once. Not that my high school graduation was, like, really momentous for me, but I just, for some reason, associate that song with that occasion. Yeah. But yeah, Hercules, I would say also up there with Mulan, fire soundtrack.
Ugh. Now I want to put Hercules in our lineup. I love that song. So definitely go the distance.
Me too. I totally love that song. Next one is I'm Still Here or I Just Can't Wait to Be King. Oh. So I'm Still Here is the Treasure Planet.
Treasure Planet?
Yeah.
They don't sing in that movie. Is it like a part of the score?
It's totally a song. It's like Johnny Resnick from the Goo Goo Dolls. It's a song.
I do not recall. It's
What's
really my second choice?
I Just Can't Wait to Be King from Lion King.
Oh, easy.
Easy. No contest. Some song I've literally never heard of in my life, despite having watched Treasure Planet within the past 3 months. Come on, Jen.
Written by Elton John. Like, come on. Just Can't Wait to Be King.
All right, I'm gonna pick the Treasure Planet song.
Okay. All right.
You need to put it on your Disney mix. It's so good. Next one is Prince Ali or Cruella de Vil.
Oh, Cruella de Vil.
Why don't I remember what that song sounds like?
I feel like I played it at a piano recital once, I think.
Prince Ali. Fabulous He, Ali Ababa.
I guess I'll go for that one because while you played Cruella de Vil at a piano recital, I sang that at a 5th grade choir concert.
Stunning.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Cruella de Vil. Next one is Zero to Hero or Two Worlds, One Family.
Oh, Zero to Hero. Zero to Hero.
Wait, is Two Worlds, One Family Tarzan? Is that the one I'm thinking of? Oh!
Yeah. So good, but...
Zero to Hero is the one where all the muses sing, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh my... Jen, this is really fucked up of you to pair these two up. That's hard. I'll go Zero to Hero. But it's just by the smallest margin.
Yeah, this is a tough one. But I'll take Zero to Hero also. Next one is Under the Sea or Hawaiian Roller Coaster Ride.
Easy.
Oh, easy. I was like, Under the Sea, there's no way you can pick something that will top that because of that. There's a really great cover of Under the Sea by one of my favorite bands, Wolfpack.
What?
Or I think maybe just the guitarist from Wolfpack. Isn't another band called like the Fearless Flyers, Corey Wong, and they do an Under the Sea like jazz cover. It's so fire. But Hawaiian Roller Coaster Ride is simply the moment. It's iconic. I can't not pick it.
So good. That's one of the best soundtracks in the game. It's easily Hawaiian Roller Coaster Ride.
Yeah, same. Hawaiian Roller Coaster Ride. I love that song. Next one is Do You Want to Build a Snowman or Why Should I Worry?
Oh, what's the second one from?
Oliver. From Oliver and Company.
Oh, Oliver and Company, which Emily has never seen. But
it's a great song.
Yeah. It's Billy Joel.
Mm.
Oliver and Company for sure. Fuck Frozen.
Yeah.
Fuck that snowman.
I'll choose the Oliver and Company one just because I hate that song, the other song with such, like, visceral rage.
Do You Want to Build a Snowman?
Yeah. No, disgusting.
I'll totally take Oliver and Company. Next one is the last one. Bippity Boppity Boo or Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious?
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious because Bippity Boppity Boo was not sung by Dame Julie Andrews. I can tell you that much.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. You gotta jump on the train with Dara on this one.
Yeah, same. I'll go Mary Poppins for the win. And that was my Disney songs.
Thank you so much, Jen.
Disney soundtrack, chocolate or vanilla. That was superb. We love you, we appreciate you, and we'll see you next week.
Can we just talk about, Little Tiny Tim. Obviously, they make Tiny Tim cute in every adaptation. Why is this tiny little frog the cutest fucking thing I've ever seen?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think his name as a Muppet is Robin.
I don't know.
He's like Robin the Frog, and he's like a tiny little Kermit.
Maybe.
And he like shows up sometimes. But yeah, so fucking adorable.
I also loved that in this... So obviously Kermit and Miss Piggy play, what's his name?
Bob Cratchit.
Bob and Emily Cratchit. And they have 4 kids. Tiny Tim, Peter, and then...
The 2 twins. Belinda and Bacinda.
Bettina, yeah. I love that they made the boys frogs and the girls pigs.
Yeah, don't you know? Boys are frogs and girls are pigs. There are 2 genders. There are only 2 genders. frogs and pigs, and that's it.
That's what they have on restroom signs.
Oh my god. Yeah, they have Miss Piggy and Kermit. And that's up for you to decide. Yeah. No, but then everyone who's not binary there's Gonzo. That's like, there's this really great episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where, like, Charlie Day's character has this perception that all boys are janitors and all girls are waitresses. And that him and the waitress have kids, and he's like, and all our sons go to janitor school and all our daughters go to waitress school. That's very this. Boys are frogs, girls are pigs.
Girls are pigs. That's just the way the world works.
There was a huge missed opportunity here to make Tiny Tim the only, like,
other Muppet?
No. To have him be a combination of frog and pig. To have him... So, like, you have your daughters who are pigs, you have your sons who are frogs, but then you have your one disabled kid who's, like, the unfortunate... amalgamation of both. He's, like, a frog with a pig snout or something. Or, like, he's, like, a green pig or something. Uh-huh. Not to say that, like, that would be a representation of his illness or whatever, but to have him be, like, the unfortunate... son.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He, like, you know, was just not bred super correctly. Like, you know, Donkey and Dragon?
Yeah, how they have that crossbreed.
They have those fucked up kids. Yeah.
It's just the donkeys with wings.
Because if you think about it, if a pig and a frog had offspring together, that would not be right. That is not as nature intended.
Is that what's tripping you up about this movie?
I just think it was a missed opportunity to give Tiny Tim a little spice.
Yeah. He's just a frog with hooves.
Because do we ever know what's wrong with him? Is he just, like...
ill?
Yeah.
He's just ill.
He has the plague. He's just got... What do they call it? What does Satine have?
Oh my god.
Consumption. Satine and Moulin Rouge and Tiny Tim
succumb to the consumption.
Are consumption icons.
Yeah. This is also that time where they would, like, treat things by, like, just going and, like...
lobotomizing you. Bloodletting. They're like, you have a headache. Bloodletting.
You're unwell. It's, when they bring someone to, like, just the seashore to take in the fresh air.
Can we please bring that back? For, like,
if I'm in, like, a super, like, depressed state...
I gotta go to the ocean.
Just bring me to the ocean. I've done that once, it didn't help.
Henry and I moved to Syracuse, New York so that I could go to grad school for a year. Mm-hmm. And then the summer following that, we lived in Portland, Maine, which is, like, right on the beach. Mm-hmm. We always joked that, like, us moving to Maine was like going to the seashore to relieve ourselves of the illness that was upstate New York. Like, really breathe in that ocean air and set your body right.
Yeah, of course. And did it do that?
No. No.
It made it worse.
It did, yeah. But I feel like the version of A Christmas Carol that I've actually watched the most number of times is the other Disney version that has, like, Mickey. The, like, Mickey's A Christmas Carol. And in that one, Tiny Tim, like, has a crutch.
Yeah, this one had a crutch. He always has a crutch.
Yeah.
It's just one crutch.
It's just
and a hat.
I learned pretty recently that for people who use a cane, you actually use your cane on your good side.
Interesting.
I saw this on a TikTok, so it might not be true. But they were like, tip for character design artists, if your character's gonna hold a cane, inform yourself of how canes actually work, because they use it on the good side to, like, support the good side more. I don't know.
Interesting.
That might not be true, though.
I'm not sure. I'd love to get on this podcast and spread misinformation.
I know. Yeah, we do need, like, a disclaimer at the beginning that you shouldn't take anything we say as a fact.
No,
ever.
Never. Not once.
At least I'm prefacing it by saying I saw it on TikTok, because then everyone's like, oh, so it's definitely not true.
Yeah, so that's incorrect.
But something that I do know is true is that this is the first Muppet movie that's not directed by Jim Henson, because he was dead.
Yeah, it was Brian Henson.
Yeah,
right?
his son, and it was his son's his directorial debut.
Wow.
This was the first thing he did.
Do you think that it's hard to peak when you first put something out?
Yeah, when your first is your best.
Yeah.
Michael Caine said that he was really surprised to learn that Brian had never directed anything before because he was doing such a good job.
Wow.
He was like, wow, I'm so shocked that this is, like, the first time you've done this. But, I mean, obviously he, like, grew up around it and stuff.
Well,
but, yeah. Because Jim Henson died in 1990, so this was the
92,
first thing that they did. And it was also one of the first Kermits to not be... Because Jim Henson was Kermit.
Yeah.
And this was... I don't know his name, but he's the guy who took over for Kermit after, and he said that he was really, really nervous to do this.
Of course.
Even though he, like, could do a pretty solid Kermit, he was like, you know, I'm just afraid that this is gonna fail, everyone's gonna know, because you don't think of Kermit as being, like, a puppet. Kermit is just Kermit. Like, that's the magic of the Muppets, is that when you're watching them, it almost takes you out of it, that's what it is. Like, Kermit is his own, that's not a man.
That is a being.
Yeah, so he was like, I was just
afraid. That's a frog.
He's like, I'm afraid it's really gonna take people out of it, and they're gonna be like, oh, that's, like, not Kermit.
No, not at all.
But then he said that that Jim Henson came to him in a dream and told him not to worry about it. And that Jim Henson in a dream was like, you're gonna do fine, and the movie's gonna be fine, and, like, don't worry about it. And then after that, he had the full confidence to be the Kermit that we deserve.
Hell yeah, it was good. He was really good. Yeah. I was impressed.
Yeah, I know that there is, like, if you, like, want to, like, get deep into, like, YouTube video essays of, like, the Kermits over time. Yeah. And how they, like, have everyone strays a little bit further. And so even though, like, what today would be, like, Kermit, if you compare it to the OG, there actually are some, like, really big differences. But yeah, he did a good job in this. I love when he so clearly just makes a fist to make Kermit's face, like, wince a little bit.
The scrunch.
It's just like, okay, and then just tight fist, and that's Kermit being like,
Yeah. Classic. Oh my goodness.
Another musical number that slapped so hard for no reason was when Kermit has Tiny Tim on his shoulder, and they're, like, walking, or maybe, was he on his shoulder? I don't know, but it's just the two of them walking down the cobblestone sidewalk, and Kermit's doing, like, a little background vocal. He's doing, like, a skee-ba-doo-ba-ba-dee-ba, and Tiny Tim is doing the lead.
Oh my god.
And it's, like, our introduction to Tiny Tim.
It's so cute.
They're on their way home from church. What? And Tiny Tim goes to church because he hopes that people seeing him, that he's not dead, will give them Christmas cheer. What?
Look, guys, I made it another year. That's fucking morbid.
The most iconic line in this whole movie is at the very end when Gonzo says, and Tiny Tim, who didn't die. Yeah. They're like, Scrooge showed up with one turkey, and that made all the difference. Yeah, that actually cured Tiny Tim's illness. They're like, Scrooge, who became like a second father to Tiny Tim. Bro, it's been 20 minutes. He just invited himself to their house with some food.
Along with the entire town.
So rude. I mean, I understand that his intentions were good, but if somebody showed up at my house, or, like, my mom's house, she'd be pissed too. Yeah. With the entire town being like, we're having Christmas here.
No, the fuck you're not.
Yeah.
I didn't prepare for you.
Miss Piggy would have been stressed.
Exactly. I don't want to stress on Christmas. I'm in my pajamas.
My gym jams.
I'm drinking coquito and eating as much cheese and chocolate as I can possibly find.
Speaking of pajamas, I feel like Ebenezer Scrooge was really society's introduction to the honk shoo me me me.
Slay.
The little candlelight with the little cap.
Oh my god.
Can we bring it back? The little sleeping...
Please, I want one of those caps so bad.
A little sleeping cap with a pom-pom on the end and a little nightgown.
Oh my god.
We should all be wearing nightgowns.
Honestly, yeah. Why don't we do this podcast in nightgowns?
Oh, in little matching nightgowns. In swamp green colored little nightgowns with little caps.
New to our merch store, coming soon. His swamp nightgowns and sleeping caps.
And it comes with a little candle holder.
Oh! Stop. That's so good.
And the scene where Scrooge is just like, he's just digging into a loaf of bread and some cheese, like, by candlelight.
In front of his fire.
Oh, that's the dream.
I felt seen.
That's the dream.
Yeah. Been there, son. Oh my god.
I feel like the nightgown is something that has been erased from history as a whole. Because I don't, like, does anyone wear a nightgown? Like, I wear a big t-shirt and no pants, but, like, fully a nightgown?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's iconic.
I know.
Henry and I are watching Mad Men right now, and they put, like, the wives in, like, pretty, you know, period accurate nightgowns, which are, like, fully have, like, underwire bra in them, and, like, they're, like, bedazzled.
Insane.
And, like, what? Why were you sleeping in that shit?
Yeah.
No.
Take the bra off, bestie. Come on.
One of the best tweets ever tweeted, I think, is, she ebb on my knees or till I Scrooge. Which I do believe is the blueprint for, like, she blank on my blank till I blank.
Shut up.
But I think the first one really was she ebb on my knees or till I Scrooge. And
so good.
I think I say that. Maybe not every day.
I don't think I've ever heard that.
Really? I think it at least once a day.
She ebb on my knees or till I Scrooge. Oh my god. Do you feel like this movie put you in the holiday spirit, though?
Yes, of course.
Like, we're recording this, like, a week before Christmas or so. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't really feeling it. I'm a bit stressed about getting everyone gifts and all that shit. But
you're feeling it now?
I think so. I think they brought me Michael Caine and Frank Oz have brought me the Christmas spirit. And I can only be eternally grateful.
And even if it took you having to see your own funeral, we're better off for it.
Exactly.
The scene where, like...
That's called growth.
It happens in almost every single... journey that he takes where he sees people, like, talking shit behind his back, where basically they're like...
Ebenezer Scrooge is a fucking asshole.
Yeah, and especially after he dies, they're like, thank God that guy's dead. He was the worst. But he also sees his, like, nephew making fun of him at a Christmas party, and, like, there are just several, instances where it's people being like, Ebenezer, the only person who says anything good about him is Bob Cratchit, which I don't think you have to be a good person to deserve a living wage.
No.
I'll say it.
No, shocking.
Yeah. Like, you're allowed to hate your boss.
Yeah.
That's, Give me the Bob Marley who is fucking livid.
Yeah. I want pissed Bob Marley. I want to see that Kermit.
But if a magical being presented to you with a book that had everything everyone has ever said about you behind your back, good and bad, would you read it?
No.
I don't think I would either. I don't want to know. I hate myself enough already.
The bad stuff always outweighs the good stuff.
Yeah, because even if there would be, like, a lot of really nice stuff, like, because obviously people have said really nice stuff about you behind your back.
Yeah.
But also, I feel like that would mean nothing as soon as somebody was like, she was talking a little bit too loud.
Yeah.
At one time, I'd be like, I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah, it's over. I'm flinging myself from the rafters.
Yeah, so I do not think I would engage with that kind
of...
Actually,
no chance.
The ghost of podcasts past came to me and told me that I talk over you too much. So, so this is the lesson I've learned, and I'm really gonna take that to heart. I'm gonna bring you a goose.
Oh, thank God. Exactly what I wanted. How did you know?
I'm going to bring you I'm going to send a tiny little rabbit that I physically abused earlier in the film.
Oh my God.
To go buy the prized turkey.
Yeah.
And I'm going to bring it to your house.
Thank you. As much as I liked the rabbit, I don't know, maybe I already said this. I love that a lot of the food in this was muppified. And turned it, like, there was grapes that were talking. Yeah, all the felt. It was like a whole, like, cart of vegetables. Oh, amazing.
Just, like, felt grapes.
Yeah, that's what you eat and drink with this. Is
felt.
Felt, yeah.
A stuffed animal. You just bite into it.
Exactly.
A lot of Muppets, I know, are made with, like, styrofoam in them. Like, you take, like, a styrofoam ball and cut it in half.
Yeah, makes sense, yeah.
I feel like I want to bite, like, when you drink out of a styrofoam cup and you chew on the edges. No, just me.
Just you.
Every time I've ever drank out of a styrofoam cup, I have not been able to resist the urge to bite a chunk out of the top.
It's like, see, the thing that I would bite is, like, it's kind of that styrofoam, but it's like the, not modeling styrofoam, I guess, but it's like, you know those things, like, you put fake flowers kind of, like, get stuck in it? Yeah, the green one? Yeah, that I would take a bite out of.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's what's inside Muppets.
I think. It's that?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I would do, that's the kind of fun.
I would eat a Muppet if that was the situation.
My question to you, though, is would you fuck a Muppet into our regularly scheduled programming? We're going to play Fuck, Marry, Kill.
So, I feel, yeah, I'd fuck a Muppet.
I'd fuck a Muppet.
Emily's roommate just whispered furries from the other room. No, it's not like that even a little bit. You don't understand. But I feel like for first off, we have to do Fuck, Marry, Kill with the three
ghosts.
Past, present, and future.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm obviously gonna fuck Yet to Come.
Really?
I'm gonna marry the past. She's
okay.
Bjork, she's so whimsical.
She is cute. She's really cute.
At least she can, like, talk and stuff.
Yeah.
Yet to Come, too quiet for me. Like, maybe in the bedroom it's gonna work for me once. His big bony fingers that point.
Yum.
Who's to say? But I
need
a conversationalist, and I think Bjork is gonna be good for me. And obviously, I'm killing Present because that guy was fucked.
I don't like him. Killing him.
You know his dick is massive though.
Well, like not in a fun way. In like a scary way. I don't know. Because here's the thing: is I like to talk in the bedroom. All right, and if I can't have that with past, like I don't know.
So you're gonna marry him? I mean, that's up to you. Maybe he gets more chatty once he gets to know you.
Maybe.
We don't know for sure that he's permanently mute. Maybe he's just he's doing a bit. He's like, I know this is really gonna freak Mr. Scrooge out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay silent.
No, I agree though. I think I'll fuck him just that once. Mm-hmm. You know, yeah. See what he's all about.
Yeah.
Faceless.
Well, who's to say he might take off the cloak and it might get a little spicy?
Oh. Yeah, and I guess I'll marry little past Bjork.
Mm-hmm.
She is cute. She is like 19,000 years old.
She could carry Michael Caine, so she could carry me and we could fly around.
Oh, that'd be so cunty.
I could also get a flowy little dress.
Yeah.
We can just zoom around.
Uh-huh. So, and then from the whole movie.
So I feel like I'm gonna fuck past Scrooge and I'm gonna set him straight.
Can I have past Scrooge and his nephew run a train on me?
Yes. Even though I literally thought they were the same actor, but yeah, those are the two I'm tossing it up between. Yeah. But I think I'm gonna fuck past Scrooge so that I can like set him on the right track.
Yeah.
Because like he'll know that like life is not all about money; it's about pussy. And then I guess
and that's the real lesson of Christmas.
Yeah, right. If you can't afford to give your friends
a gift,
I'm not gonna finish that statement.
There's pocket pussies for a reason.
I'm gonna marry the Swedish chef because
you are married to the Swedish chef. I am
married to the Swedish chef, and then I'm gonna kill. As far as if we're talking about Muppets, we would fuck. Gonzo in his little waistcoat was doing it for me in this iteration. Mm-hmm. But who am I gonna kill? I guess I'll kill Tiny Tim. Put him out of his misery. No, just kidding. I'll kill his twin sisters. They were fucking annoying.
Yeah. I'm gonna marry. Who am I gonna marry? I'm gonna marry the nephew Fred.
Okay.
And his wife.
Yeah. They seem great.
I want to be in their throuple. They're both really cute.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fuck Walmart Chloe Sevigny.
Nice.
Who was Scrooge's
Belle.
Yeah, Belle.
She knew when to walk away. Yeah. She said, I'm too good for this.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna kill essentially the Grim Reaper. I'm gonna kill the ghost of Christmas yet to come.
Why aren't you gonna kill a present? I don't think you could take him though. He's huge.
Yeah, exactly. But I just think it'd be interesting to like you basically kill God.
Yeah.
I want to see what happens there.
Love that for you. Yeah. I'm like, I'm gonna kill the annoying pigs, and you're like, I'm gonna kill God. And then what would you eat and drink with this?
I think I have a really good one, honestly. Okay. So I think what is really festive for me and around this time of year is, you know, those tins of popcorn where it's 3 different kinds. I love those. I go to fucking town. There is nothing in this world that just hugs me, kisses me, fucks me right than that trifold tin of popcorn.
What is it? It's like one is cheese, one is
cheddar, butter, and caramel corn.
Oh, so good.
Fuck, marry, kill.
Ooh, okay.
Between these popcorns.
I'm gonna marry the butter.
Of course.
Stable. There for me.
Yep. I agree.
Like, perfect movie snack. I love. And then, if I have the option to add a little salt or something, like, on my own, like a little, popcorn.
Sure.
Straight butter popcorn with a little, little salt or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna fuck cheddar.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna kill.
This is the right answer. Yeah. This is the right answer.
I love a good sweet popcorn, but I could live without it,
It's like, if it was kettle corn, it'd be different.
Yeah, but this is caramel corn.
This is caramel corn. It's too much. As a girl who likes caramel.
But I like to take one of each and put all 3 in my mouth at the same time.
Ooh.
That's what's up.
Oh my god, an orgy. No, I 100% agree. I would answer the exact same way.
Yeah.
But
then, what would you drink?
So you have that. And then I've only ever had this drink once as a shot, but you can do it over ice. Someone bought this for me at the bar, and I had never had it before. But it's called a redheaded slut. I really like it because of the name and because it is like a red drink. But it's, hold on. I believe it's made with Jaeger and like peach schnapps and cranberry juice. And it's delicious.
It's always the drinks that sound nasty that are actually like super palatable.
It's delightful.
I had somebody order me a green tea shot once. I was like, what the fuck is that? And it's like literally, it's like Jameson whiskey and like sour mix and something else.
And peach schnapps.
And it tastes like an Arizona iced tea. It's lovely.
It's so good.
Makes no sense.
Yeah, but so I think it's a Christmassy kind of one. It's not...
It's red, yeah.
Yeah, it's red.
Cute.
It's cute. It's peachy. It's cranberry. Because I always like cranberry juice. Around, like something about a cranberry juice.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
Holiday.
Yeah, holiday.
Sure.
What about you?
So, my first thought was to do those. I don't know why this like really feels like Christmas to me, and it's also like they're super cheap and easy to make. So you take a pretzel and then you take a Rolo, and then you melt the Rolo and then you just like put an M&M on top. And it's like just like the easiest little Christmas candy snack thing ever.
Yeah,
and it's just like it's like literally like pretzels and Rolos, like easy. But then that also led me to those peanut butter cookies that have the Hershey Kiss in the middle of them.
So good.
And then I was just like reminiscing about Christmas cookies, and I thought that at your gathering, at your Muppet Christmas Carol party,
of course,
you do a cookie swap. Everyone just brings.
Oh, that's cute.
Keep it simple. You don't have to do anything fancy, but just everyone brings cookies.
What would you bring?
And then everyone takes home a tin with, one of each, so you get a little variety. It's so cute. My mom always made cake balls to bring to the cookie swaps, and
she has a cake ball.
She like one-upped everyone always. She was like, "Oh, like you just made cookies while I made cake balls," because Jen was like serving.
Yeah. I always like, my mom makes this thing. It's called like Christmas crack or something like that.
I also wrote down Christmas crack.
Yeah, because it's saltines, and then you basically make a caramel sauce, and you pour it over, and then you let that cool, and then you put like milk chocolate over it.
See, that's like crazy because
it's so good.
My grandma makes that, and she calls them not Monster Bars. She calls them something else, but I think Christmas crack is like Chex Mix that has powdered sugar on it.
Oh, yeah, that shit's good. It's like that's like Muddy Buddies.
Yeah, but there's no peanut butter in these ones. It's just like, I don't know, but it's also like a very Christmas thing.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
So yeah, I definitely think you do like a Christmas cookie
that's adorable
swap situation. And then I was thinking like, what is a drink that has something inside of something else the way that a Muppet has a human hand inside of it? And so I was like, an Irish car bomb. You like drop, but that's awful. You don't want to drink.
And no, you don't want to drink that.
Is when you do a shot of.
It's a shot of
whiskey.
Yeah. So you put. Yeah. It's oh my god. So you balance. Essentially, what you do is you balance a shot of whiskey and Bailey's atop a Guinness, and you quote like pull the pin, which is you take the shot of whiskey, and that drops the Baileys into the Jameson, and you have to chug it
before it curdles.
Before it curdles,
which is so nasty.
Yeah.
But
it's pretty good.
That
honestly,
was the only like representation of like Muppet like puppetry that I could think. But that's gross, so don't do it.
Jaeger bomb.
Then I was trying to come up with a set of three drinks for past, present, and future. I thought past was just a shot of Everclear. Present, he was like a really party guy, so like maybe like a punch or something.
Yeah.
And then the future, all I could get with that was like dark rum. Something involving dark rum, but that
dark and stormy. Yeah,
that sort of concept I think is also not great. So I'm gonna give an answer that I've definitely given in the past, but it's just my favorite Christmas time holiday punch, and it's just called Jingle Juice. And if you Google Jingle Juice, it will take you right to what the recipe is. But it's like a cranberry juice, sweet Moscato, Prosecco vodka. There might be ginger beer in there too. I don't know, just like a really standard Christmassy punch. You put cranberries in it, the whole little lime wedges. It's just a nice little Christmas drink.
Yeah, nice. I love that.
And what would you follow this up with? Because it's tough. Because this movie, afterwards, I don't want to do anything other than, cuddle by the fire.
This is a perfect movie, but I think the closest thing I think this is a good follow-up. I've definitely said it before, but you watch the new Little Women, or the Little Women of your choice. Because it's not a Christmas movie, but it is a Christmas movie.
Yeah, because there's snow.
Yeah, there's snow, and it's the holidays.
Family.
Yeah,
Love
family.
It.
There's a feast.
And when Bob Odenkirk shows up and says, "My Little Women," that's like kind of the same as Ebenezer Scrooge showing up to your house with a goose.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, love that.
So, what about you?
I said you watched The Dark Knight. Because that also has Michael Caine in it as Alfred, which is great, but then that also, like, I was saying the connection of Christopher Nolan always doing things so practically. I think they did a lot of practical, like, explosion effects in The Dark Knight and, like, flipping of cars and stuff, but also just Michael Caine and Christopher Nolan are, like, besties, and he's in almost, like, all of his movies. He always just finds a little way to wiggle Michael Caine in there. So I think you need a hard turn. I don't need something else heartwarming. My heart is full. I need Heath Ledger as the Joker.
Yeah. R.I.P. King. Yeah.
That's how I celebrate Christmas.
Yeah.
Is with Heath Ledger.
Yeah. What do you rate this movie?
Oh, this movie is a 10.
It's a 10.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 10.
It's because it's there when I need it to be there. And
I don't need it often, but when
It's like probably the perfect Christmas movie.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
As far as, like, a legit Christmas movie. Like, you can... And actually, this movie did not great in the theaters because it was rivaled by Home Alone 2. So hard, right? Doesn't that suck?
That's brutal.
But
it didn't stand a chance.
Yeah, as far as, like, straight-up Christmas movies, I think this really takes the cake.
Because
all of my other favorite Christmas movies are, like, not actually Christmas movies. They're just movies that I've decided are Christmas movies. So, yeah... Happy to all those who celebrate Christmas.
Yeah. Happy holidays.
Yeah, happy holidays to everyone who celebrates it. And if you don't, enjoy the day off of work. If you got the day off of work, hopefully you did. Yeah. Everyone should. If you, like, Bob Marley really made a good point.
Yeah.
Not Bob Marley. Bob Cratchit. Bob Cratchit really made a point when he was like, none of the other businesses are going to be open for you to do business with. So what the fuck is your problem?
Yeah. What's the point?
Current really should have gotten more aggressive with this role. But,
absolutely.
Thank you to all those who listen. Links to all of our doodads, merch, social media, our website, our email in the description below. As always, please continue to send us your ideas for month themes, movie suggestions, chocolate or vanilla suggestions, all of that. We love to hear from all of you always. And goodbye and good night.